Hello everyone, I'm Brian, and let's go ahead and finish this out.
That's what needs to happen.
So I have two questions, and one is related to the last thing
Shoot
you
one at a
said.
time, I'm a simple guy.
Okay. Because you were just talking about our life is…
Little closer.
Sorry. So that we make our lives, right? And what about the people that have it very hard? What about the people that are exploited sexually? What about the people that have been like in the worst scenarios for many years of drudgery? I think it's so unfair. I do agree with it, but I think it's unfair to say that this is the responsibility of the individual to be okay. Because for some people it's just so much…
Yeah, I don't know what he's going to say. I want to verify my own thoughts. I say this is definitely a hard one, but this is the thing. It almost seems harsh and cruel, but I don't believe it to be so. And essentially what Sadhguru, and which is what I do believe too, is that we cannot control the external world. We cannot control other people. We can control what happens in this body. And for the most part, what happens to this body. Not all the time, but most of the time, generally speaking. You're going to have people who are chained up, let me put it that way, just in case YouTube does something. You get what I'm saying? Just working the fields without pay kind of deal. But you can't, when you're doing that, you can suffer it, or you can try to have a pleasantness in your body. And don't get me wrong, like I said, I said it's going to sound very cruel, but it's absolutely still true. And how to say, obviously, you should be trying to find a way to escape, try to get out, get some help, but again, you cannot control the external things in your life. Not all the time. You can control what happens in your house. You can control what you own, generally speaking again. Obviously, if it gets too hot outside, you can't exactly control the temperature of the outside temperature. But you can kind of control the inside if you have AC. Again, I'm thinking of practicalities here and things that obviously we don't have control over and what we do. But yeah, it does sound cruel, but it's true. And this is something I thought of, but obviously I've never been in that situation. And trust me, I know it's probably nearly impossible to think that way. And obviously, them being in that scenario don't have access to kind of information like this. I do wonder if Sadhguru is going to say that this information is not meant for people in these kind of scenarios where they're literally chained up or being forced to do something they don't want. This is more of a speech to people who believe they are chained up even though they're not, and they're doing work that they chose to do but feel like they're chained up from the work. Essentially people who live generally a comfortable life but are complaining all the time. Again, when you think about enlightened people who don't suffer the body but could be literally chained up and doing work but still be enlightened. So is that possible? Yes. How likely is it? Not very likely, but it doesn't deny the fact that it's still true. Now let's see what Sadhguru has to say.
See, I made a simple statement, you're making a philosophy out of it.
Okay.
Okay, there are many segments of society, please.
Thank you. There is a second question.
You can hold on to the microphone and sit down, it's okay. See, there are various levels of life happening on the planet. In London city, there are richest people living in highest levels of pleasure and comfort. There are people who are living the worst possible life within this city, yes or no?
Yes.
You don't have to go all over the world to see that, right here. So, if we create a society where there is such disparity, I'm asking, both you and me, are we responsible for this?
That was my second question.
No, we'll come, just answer the question. I'm asking the question now. Are we?
Yes,
Maybe we can't change it tomorrow morning, I know that. But are we? If we see we are, we will start working towards a solution. Otherwise, we'll try to make a living out of problems. A whole lot of people in this world have invested so much in the problems, they're only making a living out of problems, evolving philosophies of problems. The only thing that matters is a solution, isn't it? Huh? Not in how many ways we glorify the problem. The only and only thing that matters when there is suffering for a human being is a solution. Yes or no? Whether it comes from up, down, whichever way the hell it comes, who cares? Whether it comes from heaven or hell, we don't care. When somebody is in some state of suffering, the only thing that matters is a solution. So if solutions have to happen, who created the problems? You can say it's this guy or this person or that person. No, no, we as human beings have bred problems, isn't it? When I have a glass of water, I'm not willing to share it with the person sitting next to me. Why do you expect a man who has $1 billion to share it with somebody? I'm asking. Hello? When you are not willing to share the little things that you have a philosophy. Why are the rich people not sharing it with the poor people? They will not. Because your argument is, but I don't have enough. But even they don't have enough. They may have $100 billion, but they don't have enough, that's what you need to understand. This is the nature of human being. You may think they have too much, but they don't have enough. As you don't have enough, nobody has enough in this world. Yes or no?
That claps a little bit out. But yeah, I mean, I get what he's saying.
Only thing is just this, that's why I told you, your service, sacrifice, selflessness, all these things, these are all con jobs. That's why I told you, at least what is the worst in you? Your greed. Expand your greed towards everybody's well-being. We can work towards it. Will all the problems go away tomorrow morning? No, we can only work towards it, isn't it? If all of us work towards it, will it go away? Hello? If every one of us really strive towards it, will it go away? Yes, it will, isn't it? Will it or will it not? It will. But till now, the problem has always been about how to get all the human beings on one page. There are different nations, there are different races, there are different religions, skin color, this nonsense, that nonsense, every kind, all right? For the first time, for the very first time in the history of humanity, two things have happened. One thing is, our survival is better organized than ever before. There is enough resource, technology, for every problem we have a solution at hand. And for the first time, we can sit here in this room and speak to the entire world. Never before this was possible. See, many people have come, he mentioned names, Rama, Krishna, Buddha, Jesus, this one, that one, all kinds of people. When they spoke, hardly 10 people heard. Yes or no? This is the first time you can sit here and speak to the entire world. When such a privilege is there, is it not your and my responsibility to say the right things? Right things to put all human beings on one page? Hello? If we do this, because never before this was possible, now it is possible. As a generation, will we make it possible, or are we just a whine generation pointing fingers at each other and we will die like this? This is the choice we have. This is the reason why I'm going from university to university, though I avoided every damn university when I was your age. Now I'm going to university because this is an opportunity which is for the first time in the history of humanity, that if we want to change something, we can, because we have the resource, we have the technology, we have the capability, and we can share this with the entire world. Never this was possible. Please, let's make it happen.
Hold on. I don't know if she understood it or not. I couldn't see her face, although I could see some wrinkles in it. Let's rewind real quick. See, you can see right there. It's like she still doesn't understand the answer. I think what she was looking for is a this is the answer kind of deal. It's like this is what you need to do, this is how you do it, and this is how you solve the problem. But if I could, oh yeah, hold on, this one maybe. Yeah, you can see her face right there. Like, oh damn, that's pretty good. So she has this, like, I don't understand kind of look, almost like disgusted, but not. It's sometimes disgusted and just don't understand. She has this. She's like, I don't understand the answer. And I think again, the problem she's talking about, even though she didn't say anything specific, but just people who are in a sense in a very bad position, um, that are in very bad position, aren't things that you can solve overnight. And I think that's what she was looking for. But the problem is that if there was an answer like that that can be solved overnight or within a few months, it would have probably happened. But I think the issues she's kind of talking about are things that requires mountains to be moved, kind of deal. um, Essentially, I think what Sadhguru was talking about was the fact that we as human beings need to work together to make changes in government and within companies and together to make movements to fix issues around the world. I mean, I don't like to point this out too much, or that's not the right word. I don't want to say that everything that I'm about to say, every organization does it. Kind of like the missionaries, like either Catholic or Christian missionaries who go out to uh, third world countries or maybe developing areas. I'm not exactly sure where they go out to. I think mostly in Africa though. And they go out there. There's two issues or one issue. Sometimes they go out there to spread the word, which is not what they need. But sometimes they do go out there and help them dig wells, teach them where to look and whatnot, because obviously with being a little bit disorganized, not disorganized, not the right word, but there's no structure, I suppose, or foundation of government. It's coming up, but they don't have access to education like the rest, not the rest of the world, some parts of the world, and so they sometimes don't necessarily know where to look for things. Obviously, the wise people in those villages, I'm sure, knows exactly where to look because you live long enough, you know what to look out for. But again, these are good things, organizations that go in there and go help other people. Besides the spreading the word of Christ, which I think some of those organizations, that's their primary thing to do, which is terrible. Again, so long as you're helping them try to uplift their livelihood, their well-being and everything, fine. Spread the word. It's a win-win a little bit. If that's the cause of helping them out, then something that we have to accept. But kind of like that, if she starts up like an organization to help people with what she's talking about, find funding and all this, she can do it. I go back to one of the videos of a young Indian woman that talks to Sadhguru about, I've been going to this village, helping them out. I don't have enough resources or money to do anything, but I keep going, helping this village out. And Sadhguru says, hey, you stay after. I want you. We're going to help you out. I got resources. We're going to get with my foundation. And that is the kind of woman that or the kind of person, you could just say in general, that wants to do something, willing to do something, is doing something, and looking for help to do it. Right now, she's I don't want to say that she's saying there's problems in the world, but it's not doing anything about it. Hey, look, I'm the same way too. But it's kind of like the Stop Oil people. Even you look at them protesting in the streets and throwing tomato juice all over art. Literally, they're doing nothing. They're worse than doing nothing, actually, because all they cause is disruption, and they're not helping the cause at all. As a matter of fact, I think they're probably for making more oil, because them stopping traffic is them causing the cars to burn more gasoline. and use more oil. So I think they're doing the complete opposite of what they're fighting for. Instead of trying to find ways of alternate use of oil or alternative oils and stuff, go into science and trying to figure out what can we use instead of oil. Because if you figure that out, you can be rich. Obviously, it has to be same cost as oil. About can't be too much more expensive. If you find it cheaper, you have something going on there. Anyways, let's continue.
I love what you said about we want to blossom as human beings.
A little closer, please.
Oh, sorry. We want to blossom as human beings. That's how we find fulfillment. I'm actually nervous talking to you. But with new opportunities also comes fear and self-doubt. And I'm wondering, how can we navigate these very strong forces in order to reach our fulfillment, I guess, and our potential?
Fear and doubt. I guess a simple explanation for me for that one would be, well, fear and doubt will guarantee you to fail. You're like, I want to do this, but I doubt my ability, so maybe I shouldn't. I want to do that. I am a little bit afraid of that. Maybe I shouldn't do it. Fear and doubt guarantees your failure. Do it. And then give it your best shot, because you doing it does not guarantee your failure. Doing it gives you a chance of success. Think of it that way. That's one way of thinking it. Now, I'm sure there's other better ways of thinking about it to help you do what it is that you want to do, but fear and doubt will guarantee your failure. And I guess, what's the solution to that? Again, it is fear and doubt is an emotional thing and a mental state as well. So if you can think of yourself as, I'm going to do this because I want a chance of success. I don't want to sit there and tell people like, oh, do it and you will succeed. That's a lie. I don't know if you're going to succeed, but do it and give it your best shot. You will give yourself the best chance of achieving it. Of getting it, achieving it, winning it, whatever it is. You give yourself the best chance if you do it and give it your best shot. I think having that mental outlook in whatever it is that you're trying to do will help you reduce your fear and doubt. Fear and doubt is helpful. It makes you want to double check things, but do not go with that attitude. Go with the attitude that give it your best shot, give it your best chance of being successful. If you succeed, that's great. If you don't, then just another try somewhere else.
See, there is you, there is a world. Or let's say there is you and there is the rest of the existence. Those forces you cannot ignore, they're all there. I want to fly away, can I fly away? No, there's gravity which holds me down. Like this, in every activity, in every possibility, there are forces which support us, there are forces which hold us, there are forces which rise us, there are forces which put us down. All kinds are there. You ever been surfing? No? Okay, if you go either windsurfing or hang gliding or ocean surfing, somebody rides the wave. Somebody who doesn't figure it out gets crushed by the same wave, isn't it so? Hello? Yes. Somebody just riding on the wave, somebody else drowning beneath the wave. Same wave, isn't it? What is the difference, do you think? Somebody figured it out. Somebody did not pay enough attention to figure it out. The most fundamental thing that you need to figure out is not the waves, not the wind, not the sunlight. The most fundamental thing that you need to figure out is, how does this function? Now you're talking about your fears, your anxieties, your struggles. These are not waves and wind and fire and something else. These are just your own thoughts and emotions, isn't it? See, please I'll make it extremely simple for you. Human beings are suffering, all right? Variety of suffering. There's a champion sitting there. But I'm asking all of you, leave those people who are in war zones, who are in extreme poverty and some violence, leave them. We can excuse them. Because for them, suffering is coming from outside. How much of your suffering ever has come from outside? I'm asking, when was the last time you were stabbed with a dagger, even though you're living in London?
That's actually on the rise, Sadhguru.
I hear a lot of knife crimes in London.
Oh, okay, he knows.
When was the last time you were stabbed? Hey, even you were not. No?
But there are many people that are.
Yes, I know. But I'm asking, when were you stabbed? No, not you. Nobody in this room. So, what I'm saying is, the amount of suffering that coming to you from outside is minuscule. Rest is on self-help, isn't it? Why are you generating suffering for yourself? What is it? Simply because you have not taken charge of your faculties. What is it that you're suffering? If you ask people, you will see, even you, let me ask you, you are capable of suffering that happened 10 years ago to you, isn't it? 10 years ago this happened, still suffering. And you are capable of suffering what may happen to you day after tomorrow already. Yes or no? So you are not suffering life, let me make this very clear to you. You are not suffering life. You are suffering two most fantastic faculties that only human beings have, which no other creature have, which is a vivid sense of memory and a fantastic sense of imagination. You are suffering your memory and your imagination. So what you're asking is, please make me like an earthworm once again. I will live peacefully. If we remove half your brain, for sure you will sit here peacefully, isn't it? No fear, no anxiety, no trouble, nothing. So the problem is, you're complaining about your evolutionary forward movement of life. You want to be back there. If you had the brain of an earthworm, stomach full, you would be so peaceful. Is this the way to handle this possibility? I'm asking you. This is the greatest privilege, that every little thing that happens to us, we remember vividly. And we can use this memory to project and try to create those things in our life. This is our greatest privilege which no other creature has on this planet. At least on this planet, we are the most privileged life, but we are the messiest one. Simply because neither your parents, nor your teachers, nor your institutions have done anything as to how to handle your own faculties. They're teaching you how to mess with the globe, and of course you messed very effectively. Nothing about how to do this. If you knew how to conduct this, would you create fear for yourself, anxiety for yourself, misery for yourself, or joy for yourself? I'm asking you. Joy. So the problem is not with the world, the problem is, as I said, you have a super computer, you are refusing to read the user's manual. Just by accident you want to handle this, it's a mess.
Last question.
I wonder if she understood that. I didn't see her face. And it seems like she was understanding it. I mean, I think he repeated himself actually about how the fact that, no one read the instruction manual to this body. But absolutely. Again, it's a little bit of a repeat, and amazingly, I say amazingly, someone asked the same question. No, it's not really. I mean, don't get me wrong, like I said, for me, I like to hear the same question asked, because sometimes they answer a little bit differently. Especially, even though it's the same question, it's a little bit of a different context, if that makes any sense. And and I think like here he answered essentially, he said this about the reading the instructions of the body twice already, about how you want this body to be. Do you want it to be fearful or angry or sad or suffering, or do you want to be joyful and bliss? Say it now, I'll bless you, as he said, I believe a little bit earlier. He's saying it again because it's, again, same question, or how to say, different questions, kind of the same answer.
Move.
Hi, thank you very much. I'm extremely impressed, and I have one request and one question. First, I will put forward my request. So, we want to be the lucky ones who are in the same room to experience the vibe and aura that Ranveer Singh did when you danced with him. So, would you do that for us here in LSC? Guys, I want you to clap if you're up for it. We'll get fulfillment.
What's the question?
After the dance or before that? Okay, my question.
There are no
So I'm
musicians around. There's no rock band here, so…
So I'm extremely impressed how you've said that religion shouldn't be a national goal. It should be something very personal, and we should talk about the right thing. But someone, as someone so many people look up to, don't you think you have a social responsibility to voice your concerns about some specific parties who are trying to spread religious extremism? Or because we can't please everyone, can we? So what are your thoughts on that? Because I told you, you just said that you don't endorse a political party and you don't want to influence anyone to vote for someone. But don't you think we should stand up against something which is wrong?
Which is wrong. The thing is, though, is that I don't like the idea of saying Sadhguru is responsible for anyone. I don't like the idea that because he has a great influence that he's responsible all of a sudden. Sadhguru, you, me, anyone else is the same as Sadhguru. He just so happens to he happens to reach a larger audience. And he's the same outside of the fact that that's a larger audience. And a lot of people say, well, that's the difference, is he has a larger audience. Yes, but he is as responsible to himself as I am responsible to mine, as you are responsible to your own self. We have ears and brains and eyes and tongues and nose and ears and, did I say that already, and skin, to the same as Sadhguru, to gather information and to think for ourselves. So that while Sadhguru may have a larger audience, but we are also responsible for ourselves. Sadhguru can only, try to speak his mind, and now whether people take that as an answer or as a way for them to think for themselves, or whatever it is, he cannot exactly be responsible for what everyone does. So it's kind of like, imagine you just said one word on the internet, because that one word, all of a sudden someone does something crazy. I heard that person say something on the internet, therefore I start doing crazy stuff. That one person is responsible for my actions. Like, no. I think it's a little bit ridiculous. Now, don't get me wrong, if Sadhguru has a movement that says, let's go attack someone, that's a bit different. Other than that, he cannot be responsible for anyone's actions, because everyone is responsible for their own actions, for their own body, for their own mind. Sadhguru can only say his thoughts, what he believes, but how people handle that information is all on their own.
I am not against anything, that's what I want you to understand. I am for humanity. Human beings have come in variety of ways. It's okay with me. Because if all of them became like me, I wouldn't want to live in this world. They're all different. That's why it's nice, look at them, how different they are, each one. That is why it is nice. But all the idiots are trying to make everybody like themselves. Just imagine in your home, if there's one more person just like you, could you live there? One is too much, isn't it? But they want a world full of their own kind. So, I'm not against anybody. It's okay, everybody's saying what they're saying. As long as they don't get overly empowered, it's all right, they're expressing their opinions. Opinions are like cataracts. The more you have them, the less you see. So I'm trying to bring clarity to them also. People say, Sadhguru, you're seen with this celebrity, why did you sit with this person? You're seen with this politician, why did you sit with this person? I say, see, for the last 22 years, I've been working in the prisons, both India and United States. I'm constantly with murderers, rapists and all kinds of people. They're also okay with me because human beings do all these things. The question is only, will we as a generation create a situation where human beings can evolve into a higher possibility, or do you want to shoot this one, hang that one, do that, do this? Is this your solution?
And I agree with Sadhguru in this one, especially the fact that, there are people out there saying, "Oh, why'd you hang out with this group of people? So you must be them." It's like they're so quick to just throw you in a category. Don't get me wrong, category is fine, but the sheer fact that just because you are in a category, they just dismiss you all outright. This kind of thinking is very close-minded, because if you want to know what the other side is like, you're going to have to talk to them. And if we stop talking, we're going to start throwing fisticuffs or worse. So I think talking is a great thing. And I remember, what is it? Trump, I believe, going to North Korea and talking with the dictator there. Now, I'd say talking is great. Now, I don't know what they talked about. I just hope that Trump tried to find a way to maybe make it less dictatorial. I doubt it, but it's at least a step in the right direction, that they're able to open up their borders a little bit more and perhaps have some outside influence. And kind of like what Sadhguru, whenever he goes to these prisons or these politicians or these whatever, where yeah, they may be, he doesn't know them, so the only way to know for sure, instead of taking someone's word for it, is to go there himself to find out. It's kind of like, oh, they're bad people. It's like, well, they're bad. They're just bad people. Don't go talk to them. They're just bad people. They're this, that, and this. It's like, what's proof do you have? They're just that. They're just that. Don't go talk to them. It's like, am I supposed to just take your word for it, or do I need to go there and investigate myself? I think that's the biggest thing. Is people don't go investigate themselves. They just believe. They're just, oh, they're that? Okay, I believe it. Oh, they're that? I just believe it. Oh, that I want to? I believe it too. It's like, oh my gosh, it's just a room full of people without brains.
Believe me, those people who thought they are bringing solutions forcefully always cause the worst kind of situations on the planet. Yes or no? Those who believed that they're bringing a solution forcefully, they did the worst things, isn't it so? Those who believed they were going to send you to heaven, they did the worst things. Those who believed forcefully they will level everybody and bring equality, they did the most horrendous things on the planet. We don't want to make the same mistake. I want you to understand, those mistakes are no more affordable with modern weaponry and modern technology. Those mistakes are no more possible on this planet. If we commit the mistake of what I'm not supposed to mention these names, what Mussolini's, Adolf Hitler's, Joseph Stalin's and whatever the religious nutcases have done, if we attempt the same thing in 21st century, we'll finish the whole humanity. We cannot afford that anymore. So the only way for all of us to progress is that whatever I think of you, we accept you for who you are right now and see how we can all be on the same page, at least on a few things.
Talk.
We all want health, we want all of us want to live joyfully, peacefully. At least on these things we are on the same page. Well, you worship that god in the east, I worship this in the west, somebody worships something else, somebody else doesn't worship a damn thing. It's their choice. Let them do whatever. But the important thing is, human needs, fundamental human needs are this. Once physical needs are taken care of, which fortunately for this generation, like never before, though still there are complaints, there are segments of society unfortunately left out of that, still the largest number of human beings, their survival is better organized than ever before. Yes or no? It is so. Today if you have the money, you can go to the store and buy what you need for the next 1 year and not step out of your house and still manage. Believe me, if you were here 100 years ago or 1,000 years ago, if you want to start your day, you must take your bucket and walk a mile to River Thames to get your water. Most of you are not even fit to carry a bucket full of water for a mile anymore. Yes or no? So survival is better organized than ever before. Forever we've had problems of food, water, shelter, clothing. For the first time, all of you have 5 times more clothing than what your grandparents had. Yes or no? Huh? All of you have 5 times more clothing than what your grandparents had. You are also eating… Right now, how to eat less is the big deal. This is the first generation which has to be worried about how much to eat. Always every generation of people, when they sat down for a meal, they stuffed as much as they could into themselves because there was so much physical activity to do. If you see the last generations of people, how they ate, when they sat down for a meal, they would sit like this. In India they'll sit on the floor, they'll eat and it's full, and they'll eat little more and little more and little more because there is so much to do physically. If you don't eat like that, you'll run out of gas. Literally it's like gas, like filling the tank. You want to fill as much as you can. This is the first generation which has to be conscious of how much to consume because otherwise you'll become like a balloon because you're not doing anything. So everything is better organized than ever before. Survival is better than ever before. This is the time to transform human consciousness. To transform or to raise human consciousness, we are doing various levels of activity. One, you must sit through this in many different ways, otherwise you won't understand why we are doing variety of things for this purpose, because all these things have to be done. If you don't know all the pawns, there is no game. I want all of you to participate in whichever way you can to raise human consciousness, either by yourself or seek our help. We're doing many things across the world, please be a part of it. The important thing is, all human beings, if their focus is towards their well-being and everybody's well-being, irrespective of who they are. He's a bad neighbor for me, but I want him to be well, all right? This is important. I don't have to say, no, you're a fantastic neighbor, you're not, but I want you well. No, I'm not making a national commentary, please do not understand. Whether he's from from Pakistan or from Kerala, it means the same thing. I'm saying, see, I don't have to say fantastic things about you. Yes, you're a bad neighbor, but I want you well, because I know if you are well, you will be fine with me. When you're not well, you will try to infect me with the same thing. It's very important, everybody around you are well if you want to be well, isn't it so? This is why I'm saying, be absolutely selfish. It is just that. Why selfishness and greed also you're stingy? Why in that also you're stingy? At least in that you can be generous, you can't give away things, all right? At least be absolutely selfish, no? What I want for myself, I want for everybody. Let's create an absolutely selfish world. That means what I want for myself, I want for everybody in the world. Let's make it happen. Thank you.
One request. I saw you were beating your foot like this.
No, I was just testing if it can hold me, but…
So would you like to entertain the request?
But no music here, please.
Okay, that's fine, that's fine. Thank you thank you very much, Sadhguru. Thank you.
I wonder… Oh. I wonder if Sadhguru would get a little bit more… No, hold on. Got the band. I was like, bring the band in, we got the band. Look, I remember the last time you were asked a question, you said they have music, we got music now. You dance? I just can't wait for someone to do that. Sadhguru probably said, oh, the stage is not big enough. It's like, no, 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 hold on. We can just open up those curtains. Massive stage. Oh, man, I can't wait for someone to get so prepared for Sadhguru to do that dance. Or I don't know what Sadhguru would say or do. But anyways, I guess there's not really too much else to say on this one. I mean, I think I said a lot already. Good lord. Oh my gosh, I did say a lot already. Looking at that time frame. Anyone here still left? I don't know. But yeah, let's see. And it's that ending clause that he said about, treating everyone that you want their well-being. Absolutely. Like, I may not vote for certain people or whatever. That doesn't necessarily mean I want them harmed or anything. That's kind of crazy. To have that kind of mentality is it's crazy, really. It's just crazy. So why would you want harm on other people? It's a really, really bad way of thinking. Other than that, I can't really think of anything else to say. I think you pretty much said it all. So anyways, I'm going to pause right here, guys, and this is finally the final version of it. If you like my content, please consider subscribing, thumbs up, thumbs down, down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.